Brought to you by the Center for Real Estate Education, recareercenter.com. Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of real estate agency. We'll be exploring different forms of agency, a crucial aspect of real estate transactions that shapes the relationship between agents and their clients. We'll uncover the nuances of single agency, sub-agency, dual agency, and even scenarios where there's no agency or no sub-agency. So prepare yourself for an enlightening journey into the world of real estate agency. First on our list of real estate agency forms is single agency. This is a type of agency relationship where the real estate professional represents either the buyer or the seller, but not both. Let's take a simple example. You're selling your house and you hire a real estate agent. That agent is your single agent, representing you and your interests exclusively. Now, what are the benefits of a single agency? First and foremost, you have an agent who is dedicated to protecting and promoting your interests. They have a fiduciary duty to you and you alone. They're on your side and they're not juggling loyalties between you and another client. However, there are also potential drawbacks. For instance, the agent may not have access to as wide a range of properties or buyers. They're somewhat limited by their obligation to you. So that's single agency, where the agent represents either the buyer or the seller, but never both. Moving on, let's delve into the concepts of sub-agency and dual agency. In the realm of real estate, these terms refer to unique relationships between agents and their clients. First up, sub-agency. Picture this. You're a real estate agent representing a seller. You've listed a charming bungalow for sale and another agent from a different brokerage brings a potential buyer. Now, this other agent isn't representing the buyer. Instead, they're acting as a sub-agent for you. So even though they're introducing the buyer, their duty of loyalty still lies with the seller. That's a sub-agency. The upside of sub-agency is that it can broaden the pool of potential buyers as other agents can bring their clients to the table. But on the flip side, it can create confusion about who's representing whom and where loyalties lie, which can potentially lead to conflicts of interest. Next, we have dual agency. This is when one agent represents both the buyer and the seller in the same transaction. Think of it like this. You're selling a house and a buyer approaches you directly, interested in the property. Instead of referring them to another agent, you represent both parties. Dual agency can streamline communication and negotiations since there's only one agent involved. It can also lead to a faster closing process. However, the downside is that it can be challenging for an agent to balance the interests of both parties, and it requires full disclosure and consent from both the buyer and the seller. So, there you have it. Sub-agency and dual agency, two distinct forms of representation. Each comes with its own set of benefits and potential drawbacks. Whether you're an agent, a buyer, or a seller, it's crucial to understand these concepts and navigate them wisely. That's sub-agency and dual agency, both unique forms of representation with their own advantages and challenges. Lastly, we'll cover the concepts of no agency and no sub-agency. No agency and no sub-agency are two forms of non-representation in real estate transactions. In no agency, there's no official agent-client relationship formed. The real estate professional is more of a facilitator, helping both parties complete the transaction but not representing either side's interests. On the other hand, no sub-agency means that the agent does not appoint other agents or brokers to help represent the client. Here, only the main agent, who has a direct relationship with the client, is involved. These forms might be used when clients prefer to handle negotiations themselves or when they want to maintain a direct line of communication with their agent. They can provide increased autonomy and control. However, the drawbacks include potential legal vulnerabilities and a lack of professional guidance in navigating complex real estate transactions. And there you have it, no agency and no sub-agency, two forms of non-representation in real estate transactions. To wrap it up, let's summarize what we've learned about real estate agency forms. Single agency focuses on the interests of one party, while sub-agency represents the interests of a secondary party. Dual agency, on the other hand, balances the interests of both the buyer and the seller. Lastly, no agency and no sub-agency mean there is no formal representation involved. Understanding these forms of agency can greatly influence your success in the real estate world. Thanks for watching, and remember, this video was brought to you by the Center for Real Estate Education, recareercenter.com.